Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of PvP Talk. Today I have a special treat for you. This episode is going to be 1 hour long and full of arena PvP. A lot of people have been asking me to do some arena episodes back in the days, so yeah, here you have it. So I'm going for the arena with my possessed armor sword build that I just remade. I'm still training with it. I'm hoping to do a proper cinematic PvP compilation with this build soon, so just wait for that. It's going to be awesome. I have some pretty cool things planned for it, but first I need to control my build fluidly so I can get some epic footage with it. So the matches you're going to see here today are all the matches from last day's session that I spent on Arena. So these are 3 hours worth of matches. So it's just back to back every single match from yesterday. So as you can see, my build looks freaking awesome. There is no denying it. I'm so freaking proud of how this build looks. And I give you 10 seconds. I give you 10 seconds time to guess, how did I get that black aura on my build? Anyone? Anyone? Does anyone have any ideas how to get that black aura? Because it took a while for me to realize how to do that myself. So the story is that I was messing around with different aura effects. Different aura effects for, let's say like, all those items that give you some resistances. And first I was like, oh, this purple effect from the dark trotches or whatever it is. This is the aura I'm going to use. But then I decided to test the Trilop Snake trotches because I had never seen what kind of aura does that give you. And oh boy, it just snapped with me. That is the effect I want on my build. And look how freaking awesome it looks. It looks fantastic. It's like like that last little cherry on top on how this build looks. I'm like totally selfish here, but this is the freaking best looking build you've ever seen on Arena ever. And I'm not backing away with that statement because this looks so freaking awesome. But yeah, enough of my penis stroking here. Let's go to the fights. I already won one in there. This was also a very successful session for me. I've already had some training with this build. By now I've been spending a lot of time on the arena lately, or these past like 3 days I've been training on the arena, just refining my fighting with this build, and it has kind of paid off. I don't lose too much on this episode, maybe 3 fights in total out of 50, so I'm doing good. Also, by the way, I always show my face after I win and do that freaking end pose, strike the pose. So yeah, that's I usually do no switching like mid fight. I just don't even know why I don't do that. It would be the most beneficial thing to do, but I have decided not to. So yeah, I just don't do that, and that is the only switch that I do, is the take off my mask after the fight, because that shows my freaking pale face, which kind of resembles me of my own face in real life, which is kind of similar. At least it has as much color. But yeah, overall I've had pretty good times in the arena the past few days, and believe me, I'm very surprised to say this, because well, usually arena fights tend to be kind of shitty, but something has changed. A lot of nice players contact me with Steam, just saying GG and everything like that. Just basic fun times. Like, what the hell? Fun times on Dark Souls 2 Arena. What the hell is this? But yeah, I'm having a blast. This new build of mine, I love it. It's like, it's competitive but fair build. In every way, I would like to say. It's very Fashion Soul centered build. And I don't even have my whole armor pieces upgraded or anything, but it still works because I can use my insane mobility with this build. I pull out the tactical parry knife out, or parry dagger which one it is. I can never freaking remember. Parrying dagger? Yes. Sorry, my brain hasn't started yet completely. I still have my morning coffee in my hands, so let's try our best with this commentating. But yeah, back to the fights. I think this is the first match where I double KO, at least with my opponent. Oh man, neither of us are really dealing a good backstab damage, are we? But yeah, so sorry guys, I've been very inactive in Dark Souls 2 lately. There's a reason for it. I've been playing Demon Souls, my first blind playthrough of Demon Souls, and I'm freaking enjoying my time with that game so much. And it's so cool that I got the chance to play it before Bloodborne comes. Oh my god, the Bloodborne hype is so real. But yeah, I decided to come back for Dark Souls 2 with this new freaking awesome looking build of mine. And here, I don't know what my opponent did. He went on full R1 rampage in there, and that completely caught me off guard. And he was able to actually double KO with me there, so GG man, GG. Yeah, I don't hate too many things in this game, but this would be kinda close to it. I don't even know if I should explain why using warmth in 1v1 situations is so dumb and so unnecessary, because this benefits no one. It only turns fights into mindless TPS fests, because everyone just wants to deal as much damage during the duration of the warmth as possible, and it's just, I don't see the point in this. I see the point if you're fighting like gankers, if you're an invader. Of course, that's your only chance to heal on most of the builds. So I totally get it then, but 1v1 situations, why? What is the incentive of this? This is just dumb. And this is the PvP you want to play, I give you this PvP. Just mash the R1 and compete with the DPS. But yeah, that's about that rant. We're going to get the rematch with this guy. Once again, he's not the type to go out in the open too much. He likes to use the scenery for his advantage, which is okay, I guess. You don't get too many guys like these anymore, at least I don't. So, yeah. But I'm, call me old-fashioned, but I'm kind of a more of out in the open guy. I want to face my challenges like straight up, but yeah, there's nothing bad in using the scenery for your advantage, of course not. This player is actually pretty close to killing me after he has hit me behind those corners like a million times, but I was able to take him down, fortunately, in the end there. And strike a pose. But yeah, so many nice personalities I met in the arena these past few days. A lot of good fights, a lot of good players, very like different kind of fights and different kind of skill levels, if I dare to say as much. So yeah, it's been a blast to be honest, and I didn't think I would ever say that about arena PvP, especially when you're going with the Fashion Souls build. It can be sometimes kind of rough because it doesn't seem to be the case anymore for some reason, but like a few months ago when you went to the arena, only thing you got really was people with like seamless builds, no flaws in them whatsoever. And yeah, when I can appreciate the challenge, sometimes I don't want all my PvP to be like that. I can appreciate, like, try to match my skills against something ridiculously over-leveled and over-geared compared to my own build. So it feels so good when I beat those kind of guys, but I don't want that to be all my PvP experience from the arena. So it's been very nice to see that there are actually competitive players challenging me with their play styles, with the flexibility on different techniques and things like that, rather than with their builds. So yeah, here we have Weslow. I duel with this guy during this session, I think 3 times at least. I think these are pretty good fights actually. He's he's a little bit more on the reactive side of playing, but not as much as it would come annoyance. You will see it. I will talk a little bit more about that when a certain fight comes in this session, about the very reactive style of playing, which is fine, but you gotta approach it in a certain way. You cannot like, yeah, well, I explain more when that fight comes, but you have to be ready to turn on aggressive if you need to. Okay, see, here is Hitbox. I love fighting this guy. This is one of the guys that has made the arena really worth it to me lately. I really love his fighting style. Very flexible, very like fast, very aggressive. He has different weapons in his arsenal. He moves very fluidly, does a lot of cancels, shit like this. I really love playing these kind of players that own kind of very varied skill set in these games. So yeah, I can dig it. I can definitely dig it, and every fight with Hitbox here was a total joy for me. There is a few things I still need to learn with this build. I usually use that. Is that the dance of I'm so bad at the names of spells in this game. Jesus Christ, you can really see that I'm not a mage. But dance of something, the flame that comes from the side. I mainly don't use it for damage at all. I use it as a smoke screen. I use it as a smoke screen for my other spells, which are the Fire Whip and Great Fireball. So I try to kind of block their view on my second casting and use that as my advantage, but yeah, I need to like... I saw LED doing... he said that he figured out some kind of good angle to use that spell from, that it would hit your opponent from weird angle if you time it correctly, and I need to check if I can actually master that before I record my... what's it called? The freaking cinematic PvP compilation with this build. But I'm still training. I'm still not as efficient with this build as I want to be, but I'm getting to it. Probably a few more days of training. Whenever I have time for Demon Souls, I will keep training with this build, and I think I get it eventually. Oh yeah, this other guy who I absolutely adore. I love fighting this guy. AFK Swag Lady. Another very flexible player, a ton of different weapons. He has, like, well, I don't know if he's he or she, but I kind of assume it's a he. But yeah, very nice player to fight against. Very tight fights with him these past few days. I think this is the only one of this session, I think. I can't remember if we had any more fights in this. And there, I'm sorry about this random freeze of my character, but my freaking virus protection program has had some update that popped up, and since I play with windowed mode, my game paused completely. So I was just standing there, but luckily he didn't sneak any hits in there, which was nice, so we could continue the fight as it were before that freeze happened. But yeah, as I was saying, I really much respect this player. I like to fight him very much. He has a ton of weapons in there, a ton of tactics in his use, and it's just a very, very joy to fight these kind of players. I was just very intensely looking at the match here. I think I do a pretty silly casting here soon or something. I can't really remember. But yeah, here he unfortunately runs out of stamina. I get the card break, but blue Tearstone Ring saves his ass. But not too long from that, the blue Tearstone actually saves my own ass. So as you can see here, oh man! Ooh, take it to the face, but luckily blue Tearstone, my saving grace saved my ass in there. And I was able to survive that laser beam from the Moonlight Greatsword. And that was a silly, perfect parry timing, but he missed me, so I didn't get it. But yeah, they're very tight fight. Awesome fight indeed. GG, man. GG. So here, Annabelle, I think this is the first fight that I lose. I double KO'd once, but I think this is the actual first defeat that I get. Sorry for spoiling that. Sorry guys, that's very bad habit of mine that I spoil some of these fights in these PvP talk episodes. But yeah, it was a good fight and all. I just feel so crappy that it was just the Ice Rapier that beat me. Like, it's not that bad even. I don't think Ice Rapier is that bad. It can be annoyance, especially when it's buffed like this, but I don't know. Why it had to be the Ice Rapier? Why? Why? Oh, I'm not taking anything out of my opponent here. He's playing pretty good game here as well. He's punishing me for my stupid freaking missing attacks in there. Not bad at all. He's very fond of that special attack though. There he tried to cancel it to get me with it, but luckily didn't. I'm kind of raising here. I was still hoping to get a clutch victory in the end here, but well, you see how it turns out. I take my time to space around here a little bit, try to sneak in some running attacks in there. Can't really reach him. Got terrified of that rapier poke. And here he runs away. I'm almost like guessing where this is leading now when he runs away. He's swapping to something. And soon we see what? Yep, it's a bow. And at this point I'm like, yep, I'm dead. GG, man. Good fight, good fight. Well played. And then we get to the next one. This is one of the fights that proves that the cancelling even on the fast weapons is very worth it. I think. So yeah, first cancel. No parry for you. And then let's see if that works again. It works again, and don't be too eager with those, otherwise you're going to pay. And there to wake up. I like to use the backstep two-handed follow-up attack for my wake-ups usually. That usually lands on the rolls. Usually, not 100% of the time, that depends on the kind of rolling distance of my enemy, but usually I get to time that correctly. So this guy, I think I fight 3 times during this session as well. And I can already see the signs that I'm playing very stupidly against this person. I just have to come clean and say it. I play so stupid against this guy. Like, I take the first 2 victories against him, but you can see the signs in the air. With these fights against this guy that I am not really playing my A game against him. I'm kind of taking it for granted. And you should never do that. Against any opponent, you shouldn't underestimate them. Otherwise, you're going to get your ass handed to you eventually. But later, more about that. So yeah, here is the cosplay of the evening. Siegmeyer of Katarina. And I adore cosplays. I love fighting them. I very much prefer, like, not prefer, but I can respect a lot people who cosplay in this game. Because you see them very rarely. At least I do see cosplays very rarely, and it's always a bright spot in my PvP sessions when I see these kind of cosplay builds. And he's not doing a bad job. He's actually judging his poise very well in this fight. He doesn't roll, well, he does kind of a few stamina mistakes where I'm able to backstab him. My backstab damage is shitty though, so it's under 500 damage. But here, he used his poise to his advantage to use that R2. Nicely done, nicely done. But he kind of spammed all his stamina. He didn't have stamina for 2 rolls in there, so I was able to catch him again with the backstab. And yeah. I can't remember how this ends. I kind of bait his attacks out, I think, and just sweep in for the last R1 in there. And strike a pose! You're always gonna strike that pose and show that pale face. So here we have a little bit more competitive. This looks like an arena build, if something. This guy is using. He has Jesters, he has Giant's Ring, buffed weapon, and everything. And I think I brain farted in this fight if I remember correctly. I think it comes right about over soon. Here. Juutas, you cannot backstab him. He has Chester's on, you freaking dumb fuck. An instant karma for my stupidness. I got parried in there. But luckily he wasn't able to deal any damage before that parry too much, so I was able to take him down. But oh my god, what a stupid fucking mistake. Excuse my language, but Jesus Christ. But yeah, here's Ahmad again with his, what is that, war pick, or, I can't remember the name of that weapon, I'm so sorry. Scrubby Juutas not remembering anything. But yeah, here the signs are in the air. He decides to start trading with me like crazy. And just a little spoiler, that's a really good tactic against me. That is a really good tactic against me, guys. Trading with me is usually a good idea, because my damage output with this weapon is abysmal. It's so bad. I need to deal at least 3 hits. If none of them is a counter, I have to deal 3 hits to deal like 500 damage, a little bit over on most of my opponents. So yeah, that's one of the downfall of this build. That even though I'm like a super aggressive player, it's very easy to trade with me if you're playing it wisely. But still I'm doing it, because that's the way I like to play. I decide that I play this match aggressively, and I will go in with all that I got. I go in there with speed, I go in there with my running R1s and keep the things so-called interesting. But I pay the greatest price for it in this fight, if I remember correctly. Oh man! But there, he missed his sweet spot, so the damage is very underwhelming. That is one of the sweet spot, or strict sweet spot weapons. There are sweet spots in every single weapon, I think, but some sweet spots are just more rough than others, and you can really see that on this weapon. And there! Booyah! That damage, boy! Oh! You really knocked me out of my brain, because I don't know what the hell was I doing the rest of this fight. I was like, I'm going in there and spam the R1, That's the skillful play of Juutas, and look at how that ended for me. Well played, man, well played. GG. And here we have Weslow again. We had decent fights with Weslow. Every single fighting against him was pretty damn good one, actually. Long fights. A lot of stuff happening. Not my favorites of this session, but still good enough to like pique my interest. This is definitely a player with some experience with the game, and he has also challenging weapons that he's using. He's using rapier, straight swords. So I got a run of my money with these fights completely. And I'm trying to calm the situation with my smoke screen tactics in there. Obviously they don't work against anyone. I think I land yesterday, or like not these duels were recorded yesterday, but the day before that, when I was on the arena, those smoke screen pyro tactics worked a lot better than on this session. But on this session, I was struggling to get anything done with those, really. So yeah. But yeah, they're there if I need them. Usually the pyros that I use more effective, or that I use them for, are the cancels for my attacking techniques. To be honest, I don't really expect to hit too many pyros during these fights. I use them to mix up with my opponent's brains, basically. So here he tries to trade with me. Luckily I got the straight sword, so I got the benefit against most of the weapons when it comes to like hit priority. So yeah, here's Invader. One of the highlights of the evening, I must say. First it seemed very laggy, but luckily it went away very fast. So I can respect all these very slow weapon users. I have one build that uses the Old Knight Mace, and I know that dealing with these like super heavy weapons without any fast backup weapon is a pain in the ass. You need to be the most freaking patient player ever. And he there here is doing very good job at it. And because of that, it's very like, well, this is kind of unfair to say that he's playing very reactively, because of course he's using a freaking heavy weapon. Of course you have to play reactively with those. I'm not stupid. It's not like you can go on full-on aggressive all the time with using these big-ass weapons. Of course you cannot. It's just dumb, and it gets you killed very fast because you run out of stamina, you miss your attacks, you get backstabbed, you get punished by combos. And since I'm using a straight sword, even though my damage output is silly low, it's still a straight sword, so it's fast to punish if you do stupid attacks. So he's doing good job in here. He's using his stamina very well. He always has stamina to roll away, to move away. He spins around, waits for me to come in. Luckily I got the pyro, so I can mix it up a bit and sweep in with my R1s. Although the pyro that I use soon is also kind of my downfall a bit. At least it got me close to death. So let's see, I think it comes over anytime now. No, not yet. Still not. Jesus, when did I do it? Or was it even this side? Yes, here. Oh, I couldn't even chip him. And there it goes. But my baby, blue tier stone. Oh my goodness, I would be so dead without that ring in this fight. That still dealt like 1000 damage, that backstab, but I think the blue tier stone was the only thing keeping me alive after that one. So, wow, totally worth wasting a ring slot for. Totally. It has always been there with just about every single one of my builds. Not like 100% of my builds, but almost every single one. And I have never regret using it. Just check it out, guys. If you haven't checked it yet, blue tier stone ring, check it. It's good. It's awesome. It can save your ass on tight situations like this. And yeah, striker pose, very good fight indeed. So yeah, here's another pretty interesting looking guy. He's using pretty interesting times to attack, like here. I tried to parry him, he uses the R2, which almost caught me in there. That was like, I could almost feel that in my testicles in there, that he is going to land that attack, but he didn't, luckily. But here we have some parrying goofiness, I think, soon. I don't know if it's this fight or the next one with this guy, but yeah, it's this one. I think. Yep. This looks so stupid. When both players go for the parry at the same time, that is the goofiest shit ever. And always makes me feel like, ugh, I just wanna facepalm myself. It just looks stupid. I cannot stand when things look stupid, because I don't know. I just cannot stand it. That's why I avoid trying any lucky parries too much. I try them every now and then, rarely, but I tend to shy away from trying any lucky parries. I tend to take the parries when I can get them. When I'm like very sure that the parry is going to land, then I'm going to do it. But otherwise, I tend not to do those. So here is quite decent mage fight, actually. I like this mage fight really much. It's not the longest fight ever, but I kind of digged it. Both of us had castings and also mixed some melee attacks with the castings, and yeah, it was a nice time. I like this fight very much. It has very flexible castings in there, dark magic, regular sorceries, pyro, also has the buffed weapon, so I had to look for that. But once again, cancelling saves my ass. He reacts very fast to my movements, so I can bait him with the cancels to land those last attacks, and yeah, good fight, good fight. So, here's a Wolverine. And let me explain a little bit more about this fight, or actually these two fights that I'm going to have with this guy. You maybe realize that I'm not as aggressive as I usually am with these fights. And that is simply because this guy was able to beat me actually twice the other day on the arena. Because he was using the most passive playing style ever. He never approached me if I didn't approach him first. So I was like, okay, I have no reason to actually go into that playstyle again. I'm not going into aggressive anymore. Let me see if you can deal if I play very reactive game, because I'm not in a hurry to deal with your buffed Drake Keeper's sword. There's no hurry in the world for me to actually deal with that. So I can just wait around and see if he actually starts approaching me. Because he's clearly the sort of player who plays reactively all the time. So this is the way you deal with the players like this. You wait. You wait out their buff so they don't deal enough damage anymore. And I don't mean to be rude or anything, but it seems that he isn't used to dealing with situation like this, where the other player is the the reactive player. So here I'm just able to very easily wait him to get impatient and punish it, because this is how the reactive playstyle works. But you need to be able to be flexible in these kind of situations. You need to be, you need to learn how to be either the most patient one in the match, or you need to learn how to be aggressive as well. Quite frankly, although it's just two fights in here, but it would be safe to say that he is not too used to on the aggressive side of playing. So there I just flawlessed him. Of course, I don't want to be rude. That is not my style. I don't want to be rude on other players, but it seemed like he wasn't used to that kind of sort of situation. And yeah, you need to change your playstyle accordingly to the situation. That's what I believe on. So yeah, this guy really much wanted the backstab and he got it, but was it really worth it? Was that damage really worth it? He wasted all his stamina to rolling and landed that backstab with his last inch of stamina, so the damage was very underwhelming. But yeah, he wanted that, so he got that. Good for him. I'm so very tempted to parry this weapon. This weapon is so easy to parry, but even though I parried this player a couple of times on the other day, this time he didn't want to give me the chance. Which was a bummer, because, I don't know, that weapon is so fun to parry for some reason. But yeah, I take him down with other means. And here we have this guy again with the Rapier of the offhand, Greatsword on the other. Not bad at all. I like the fights against this guy as well. Sorry, I cannot see clearly because the preview this gameplay is coming from me is very blurry and I cannot freaking see what's his name. Spooner, maybe? Spooner. Shout out to Spooner. Not bad fights at all. Not bad fights. I like this very much. So yeah. Damn, I'm kinda running out of things to say. That's kind of the problem with these like super long episodes, but you guys have been asking for arena episodes, you guys been asking more of PvP, and I think this video kind of fulfills... Sorry, a burp. This video kind of fulfills both of them, also with the best fashion souls of mine so far. I absolutely adore how this build looks, and don't you agree? I think it looks freaking awesome. It is the best looking build out there in the arena at the moment, and I'm not even ashamed to say it. I made no compromises whatsoever with this build. I went full in fashion, no matter what the armor pieces were. Oh, believe me, I could use better armor pieces for this build. Believe me. Yeah. This time I decided to make no sacrifices for my fashions whatsoever, and I think the results spoke for themselves. It just looks so good, and it's even more fun to play with a build that looks awesome. But the the kind of a bad side with playing this build, to be honest, is that some people actually thought I was hacking. Some people thought I was hacking because I have that black aura from the Trilop snake trotches. You pronounce it, I can't. But yeah, that black aura that I had on, some people actually thought I was hacking, and yeah, can you blame them, honestly? Because you never see this buff on anyone, because this only like buffs your petrify resistance. So, can you blame them? I can't. I look like a hacker, I admit it, I look like a hacker completely, but trust me, this is very far from hacking. This is just fashion souls on its purest form. But yeah, enough about that fashion that I like to stroke my penis on. And back to the fight. This is another fight with Wolverine, the very reactive player that I used to talk just a few minutes ago. And as you can see, I'm taking the reactive side of things again. I know, it's kind of boring as shit to watch, but I think it's very important to show that I can play reactively as well if I want to. If I want to, I can turn on that mode, but usually I decide not to, because I already said to you guys what kind of duels I prefer. Personally, I cannot like say that everyone should prefer same kind of matches, of course not. But I personally prefer the matches that have the most action in them. I like people with a lot of like variety in their builds and movement. They can use different kind of movement for their benefit. They know how to backstab, know how to parry, know how to do different kind of attacks with their weapons. Those are the kind of fights that I prefer personally. So that's why I try to keep it interesting as much as I can on most of my fights. I try. There are some fights, I admit, there are some fights that I find boring. And I include those too. These are all the fights from the 3-hour session that I had yesterday on the arena. Every single fight. Nothing is cut out from this session. So you're about to see a few of those boring fights eventually as well. And now my preview is lagging for some reason. I cannot see at all what is going on. Unfortunately, I hope it stabilizes soon. Okay, now it's stabilized. Now I can actually see again. So sorry, my PC is kind of struggling when I'm previewing this video from my movie maker, or not the movie maker, but the Sony movie studio, and I'm recording with the Audacity at the same time. It kind of sometimes lags. The gameplay starts to lag for me. I really hope it doesn't affect the audio. That happens as well sometimes, so if that does happen, I will apologize for that. But yeah, sometimes I cannot see what I'm commentating on, so that's kinda, yeah, shit. But yeah, even though I criticize some of my opponents, I don't want to, I want to make it clear that I don't do it in a mean-spirited way. I don't want to like come off as a douchebag, because I really am not a douchebag, even though some of the people that I have conversed with during my days in PvP would really much want me to be one. I'm not like that. So I just, I kinda, even though I might sound rude at times, I really don't mean to come off as a rude person. I really don't want that to happen, so whatever I may say, don't take it to the heart. I just try to kind of share some advice, maybe, but people are very sensitive about any kind of critique. You're ready to critique my playstyle as well, as soon as you like do it in a friendly way, sort of. Not to kind of critique that, oh, the only thing you did in this play is to spam R1s and running attacks. Man, that's not clearly the things I do only. Of course I use R1s, I use running attacks, of course I do. But please keep it like, what can I take off of that critique? Nothing. I can take nothing out of that critique, because that is not true. saying something that is not true is not critiquing. That is just trying to like hate on somebody, and that is not really creative. And yeah, I don't really like to react on that kind of feedback too much. But yeah, here's some person with sunlight plates, a one-shot build, I guess it is. Hard to say because he's kind of not hitting me in this fight too much, so I'm not sure if this build can actually one-shot anyone, at least not me. That's pretty obvious because I have over 2000 health with this build. That is my saving grace. I can take some hits even though I have shitty armor and stuff like that, but I'm not too worried against gimmicky builds like this. I can usually avoid getting attacked by them. At least with a flexible build like this, I can like sweep in fast, get out fast, use my pyro to distract them a little bit. Keep my movement going, not going into trades. Definitely not going into trades with this kind of builds. That would be the silliest fucking thing to do ever. So, I don't know. Maybe this is the Sunlight Blades one-shot build, but I'm not sure if this. No, actually he did land a hit on me in there. I did remember that I went flawless in this one, but I didn't. But yeah, talking about the critique, I'm open to critique. My playstyle isn't perfect, of course it isn't. Sometimes I tend to be a little bit more on the spammier side when I'm caught in the moment, especially when I'm drunk. Drunkenness gets a lot of like unnecessary aggressiveness in gameplay out of me. I'm not aggressive when I'm drunk, don't get me wrong, I'm not like a wife beater or angry kid or something like that. I just, when I PvP drunk, I tend to get very fucking aggressive sometimes. I just go in there and mash that freaking attacks like there's no tomorrow. And there's no shame in admitting that. And I can take like all the criticism out of that, of course. It's not like a top-notch play that I sometimes do when I tend to go full on aggressive, but yeah. Just if you're going to critique me, just do it in a professional kind of way. Even though it's just a video game, but try to be like at some sort of like a professional about it. I think you know what I mean. I don't need to explain it. I'm just opening my mouth and shutting it. The rhythm of my words because I have nothing to talk about anymore. I'm just blabbering here because this is a long video. And here someone decides to suicide on me and yeah. Okay, strike a pose. But yeah, that's all about that. Let's try to commentate on the fights again. Damn, I get so distracted. I'm sorry guys. When I try to commentate on these kind of PvP talk episodes, I tend to like zone off a lot. When I just start talking a lot and there's nothing else for me to do than just talk, every kind of shit just comes out of my mouth, and I'm sorry about that guys. My commentary isn't the best, but I try to like develop my pronunciation and my vocabulary and everything like that. So I like to do these PvP talk episodes because oh boy, you should see the first video that I uploaded on YouTube on 2 years ago. Oh man, my English has improved so much of that video and I'm so proud of it that I can do commentary somewhat fluidly. I kind of run out of topics, I mispronunciate a lot of words, I still have my wonky accent, so, but you cannot say I haven't improved on my commentary. I'm very glad that I have improved in it because the main goals of this channel during this whole year, or the past year actually, it's already year 2015, haha, the main point is to keep on improving my content. With every video I make, I keep on improving my editing skills, my commentating skills, my play, everything. I try to like make a large variety of different kind of videos. I think I have covered that pretty well. I have Demon Souls, I have Dark Souls 2, playthroughs, guides, commentaries, live streams, fight clubs, tournaments. I think my content covers a lot of things and I I have reached my goal in that, and I keep on improving my content. I'm not nearly done. I'm very passionate about this YouTube, so I really hope that I'm also able to get into streaming soon again. I'm so sorry, the guys who like to watch my streams. I have been super inactive on Twitch lately, and I apologize for that because I've been so focused on YouTube lately. I have released so many videos, so freaking many videos on the past, like, let's say half a year or year. I'm talking like hundreds of videos. So yeah, it's been so freaking, I've been so active with YouTube, but I'm trying to balance it out eventually. But I want these videos to get out before Bloodborne comes, so I can actually I can create all the content that I have planned on making before that game pops out, and start focusing on that game a little bit more. I really hope I can visit other Souls games after that, but you know how it is when a new Souls game, or well, a new Bloodborne comes out. I kind of suspect that is going to suck a lot of my time and then, so just prepare. I'm not quitting on the other Souls games, but you can prepare that Bloodborne is going to take my main attention then. So I'm trying to release a lot of Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 1 content before that. And of course my Demon Souls playthrough as well, which is great. But yeah, I think I take first loss in a long time here. This player outsmarts me in a bit. Very tricky build, very nice build, not bad at all. He has this, the homing soul whatever, and he mixes up with the crystal soul spear and or whatever that is. I'm so bad with the spells. I'm sorry guys, I just cannot remember their names for the life of me, but you know better than I do. So yeah, he mixed those spells really nicely and countered me with the buffed katanas for insane damage. Very well played, man, whoever you are. Nicely, you really outsmarted me in there. Very well played. So yeah, here we have Hitbox again, who has decided to kind of switch on the similar kind of fashion souls that I have. He has even Trilop Snake Trotches as well. And has the white ring on, which is of course one of the fashion souls rings as well. And not bad looking either, not bad looking at all. And as I said earlier, I really like to fight this guy very much. He was a little bit... like, he said GG's and everything, he contacted me on Steam, but he also said that he hates me because he couldn't win any of these matches, but that hardly matters when the fights are this good. It hardly matters, like, I don't care. If I have a very awesome fight, of course I aim to win. I said this on every freaking PvP talk I have, but if I lose after an awesome fight, it doesn't matter. It's like the awesome fight was awesome fight even though if you win or lose. Of course you aim to win and that's what creates the awesome fights for me. But yeah, definitely man, you don't need to worry about not winning these fights because you did a great job in these fights. I really loved fighting you and you were definitely one of the best opponents of this day. So nothing to worry about, absolutely nothing. So here my preview started lagging again. What's happening? I do not know. Okay, yeah, another fight with the Hitbox. He's back with his original fashion souls again. But yeah, as you can see here, he came from out of nowhere. That is the kind of the most sneakiest thing about that puff ring. That's what I like to call it. The buff ring, because you can do the roll cancels, attack roll cancels. What I mean that is that you cancel your attack with another roll and it makes you look almost like invisible when you do it fast enough. So you can cover like insane amount of distance completely invisible. And it looks so cool. And it kind of caught me off guard in there. It's a really cool trick you can do with the puff ring. So yeah. Looks so nice. But yeah, I really like these fights with the hitbox. He has a large variety of weapons in his arsenal. Katana sweeps, the Black Dragon great sword. There I parried with his rolling attack, which is very, very easy to do against katanas, I must say. You gotta be very, very sneaky when using those. He didn't always use them, but I was able to read him at that time. So he wasn't spamming those rolling attacks, definitely not. So yeah, and there I took him down with the fire whip. And striker pose! Striker pose in there. And there another fight against Hitbox again. Now he has an I think that's a bandit axe. One of the like secretly very, very fucking awesome weapons. I like to use that weapon myself. It is awesome. The combo ability of that weapon is insane. That combined with the good damage, decent poise break. It's just if you haven't tried out bandit axe and you're gonna struggle with finding like a good axe, that's a very good axe to start from. That and the butcher knife you see here. Butcher knife and bandit axe are both really, really good weapons, and I like both of them a lot. They can combo well, they can reach players well, they have very fast running attack speed, so all kinds of good things you can find with those weapons. So yeah, try them out if you already haven't, but the game is so old already that most of the people have already like realized the strength of these weapons already. But just shouting out there, if there are any like new players of the game watching this video for some reason and had the patience to actually watch this video this far, thank you so much, because this is just some idiot. What was that sudden Swedish out of there? Idiot. But yeah, it's just some idiot rambling on some arena PvP footage. So thanks so much for watching this. This is some weird stuff. But yeah, here we have Weslow again. Old face from the arena now. I have faced him a couple of times already. I was able to get some juicy combo with the pyro. I kind of went for it and damn, it landed well. It landed so smooth angle that spell that I cannot remember the name of, because I'm the scrubbiest player ever. I cannot remember the names of the spells I'm using. But yeah, the flame swipe thingy shenanigan kind of thing. Yeah. But yeah, Weslow giving a solid performance again. Pretty nice. Changing up with the weapons. Giving me the run of my money again. Not bad at all. I like to kind of fight the other players who use straight swords. Gotta see where I stand. And so far I have done pretty well. I like fighting them personally. There were some people saying that they hate straight swords, they hate to play with them, they hate to play against them. But I like to play with them, I like to play against them. I have no problems with straight swords. That is not something I hate to play against. Not at all. Even though those are one of the most effective weapons of the games, I still think they are pretty fair. Of course, you can make a very cheesy setups with straight swords. You can with almost every weapon. Almost. I'm not saying with all the weapons. But if you buff your straight sword, you go with the Rob Flynn. Yeah, you can. I can see how you could play a very, very cheesy playstyle with the straight swords, and if you optimize your setup for that cheese, of course they can be like very tough to deal with sometimes. But yeah, I'm yet to see that they are so nasty as everyone says they are. I really like to fight them myself, so. Yeah, you're just gonna need to maybe spend some time with the straight swords yourself to know what they are capable of and what they are not capable of, and then you maybe have better time with them. Maybe. I'm just like throwing stuff out there. Every player is individual. Some player hate different things than others. Some player love different things than others. It's all good. This game has insane amount of variety, an insane amount of different kind of people with different kind of soul level metals, metas, different kind of soul levels that they go for. I have chosen to adapt to the soul level 150, but I don't think everyone should go into that meta necessarily. Everyone decides what they want themselves, and I'm fine with that. I just don't fucking care anymore. I'm fine with soul level 150. I can manage soul level 150, and that's good enough for me. If it's good enough for me, it should be good enough for everyone else. It's just leave me alone. I want to stay on soul level 150, so sue me, goddammit. So here, Saber X. We met Saber X here, and this is, if someone doesn't know who Saber is, this is an old friend of mine from the Dark Souls 1 days. Brilliant player indeed. I have so much respect for this player. Absolutely awesome player. Always gives me the run for my money every single time we fight with him. Which is not a lot, I must say. We fought a bit more on Dark Souls 1, but not so much on the Dark Souls 2. But every time I face Saber, and even if you face Saber, I'm guaranteed you will get the run for your money against this player. You are not going to get easy time against Saber here, and I can guarantee it. Juutas approves. Yeah, usually I haven't like faced Saber with this setup. He's using... is this a crypt? Great song? Or something like that. Once again, I'm forgetting the name of that weapon, but... Anyways, definitely not his main setup. As some of you may know, Saber is infamous about his skill with the Chaos Blade, and... Yeah, Chaos Blade is a very dangerous weapon, but... This guy can... he can use it. Let me just say you this much. He can use Chaos Plague like... Chaos Plague! That's like... some people call it. But yeah, Chaos Blade like any other. Yeah. You need to just fight Saber when he is using Chaos Blade, and you will see. I cannot praise his skill with that weapon enough. It's a very effective weapon, but... I can tell you that he will be open for you to challenge him with the Chaos Blade yourself, and let's see how that goes. He's not afraid to fight that weapon himself. He is open for new challenges every time. He is not afraid of like taking the challenge head on. So I've heard some nasty talk about him that his skill is only based on the Chaos Blade, but that is not true. That is pretty unfair thing to say about this player. I think he is pretty brilliant. He won tournaments on Dark Souls 1. He won my tournament on Dark Souls 2. He has proven his competitiveness in these games. There is no doubt about it. He is a good player. And no matter how much you want to put it on, like saying that it's all just because of his Chaos Blade, that is just bullshit, guys. Just stop that shit, okay? I'm sorry, but I have respect for this player, and I'm not going to listen bullshit about him. If you have some beef with him, go challenge him. Just arrange some matches with him, and if you can beat him, good for you. But shit talk has to end. Amen. But yeah, here he almost freaking gets me with that last trade. And wow, that was close. But yeah, excellent fight as always with Saber, even though it wasn't his like main setup, but great fight as always. I met him a couple of times yesterday as well. On those fights, he handed my ass to me in a silver plate with his Chaos Blade, so yeah. I was able to keep him at some sort at bay, but oh man, I can say that he challenges me every single time I fight him. That's for sure. So yeah, back from the OPness of Saber to another topics. Here is a very... I do not know why I did 17 damage in there. I have no idea. Why I didn't deal any damage in there. What was that? There doesn't seem to be any lag in there. Why did I deal 17 damage and on the second hit I dealt none? Did he do a tactical switch on the life ring +3 or something that fast or something? I have no idea. But that looked so odd. How? Why? I cannot explain that. If someone on the comment section can explain what happened there in the beginning of that fight, please tell me, because why did I deal that little damage? He wasn't blocking with his weapon or shield at the time, so I have no idea. I have no clue what happened there. Okay, here is this mage again. He has a pretty nasty arsenal of spells in there, but for some reason I really like to fight him. It's good to have this nice mage fights, so to speak, because as I said before in these episodes, I don't have too many good mage fights. Usually, they seem to be like my problem with spells. As I've said before, I'm gonna repeating myself all this episode, but my problem with most of the spells that those spells that hit me feel like cheese, and those spells that don't hit me feel like crap. I'm talking about kind of those like auto tracking spells, like lightning storms and fire storms and things like those that they kind of like I don't know. I gotta like rephrase my sentences so it wouldn't sound rude, but every time I use the like firestorm, it just seems the cheesiest fucking shit ever. Because even though I get punished for it sometimes, but from the wake up or situations like that, it has absolutely nothing to do with your timing. It has absolutely nothing to do with your quote unquote skill. If you hit with that kind of spell, you just kind of hope that it hits. If you know what I mean. I don't know, those kind of tracking spells like blinding bolt or things like that. It's just... I don't know. I don't know what to say about those, but it just has so little to do with anything else that's going on in the fight. Anything to do with your skill or your opponent's skill. If you hit with that, those kind of spells, it just seems so luck-based when you use those kind of spells that it kind of tends to turn me off. And that's why I decided to take off the Firestorm from this spell as this build as oh my god, please Juutas, talk, speak, English words, you can use them, use them! So yeah, I decided to take the Firestorm out of this build because I was feeling that it has nothing to do with my timing or my my tactics, that if I land with that spell or not. It just felt like cheese to me. So I switched it to the smokescreen spell that I use. So yeah, that's about that, but yeah. It just didn't feel right to me, so to speak, to use those spells. It felt too much of a cheese fest. So yeah, here we have Totuus mies. This guy is Finnish because his name means the truth man. The truth man in English. Totuus mies. Totuus. Ultimaattinen totuus. Ultimate truth. Totuus mies. Here he is with his ultimate truth fighting against me. And as always, it's nice to meet another straight sword user. I like to fight builds like this because it only feels like fair matchup, so to speak. But yeah, here we have our last fight of this 3-hour session that I had on the arena. This is against Howie. and Howie actually so happens to be a streamer. So be sure to check out Howie. He's not a big streamer, anything like that. He doesn't have that many followers yet, so I will add the link in the description to check out Howie. He seems like a really cool guy. I had fun time hanging out with his stream in his stream later this day after I stopped playing. So yeah, definitely check Howie out. And thank you so much, everyone. This probably was the shittiest commentary ever, like I say in every single commentary video that I put out. But yeah, at least I did it. Here's a shit ton of arena PvP that some of you guys were asking for. With the greatest fashion build you can find out there. So here we go. Hopefully it's good enough for you. It was good enough for me. I had a lot of fun times, and thank you so much for watching, and strike a pose. Take care.